All right. How's it going, everybody? Woo! Made it. Hey, Max, how's it going? I know, I had to quickly get that AeroPress out. Quick. I'm also working on a new camera. I'm a little shiny today. I just shaved my face. I got some stuff. Yeah, it's an earlier stream than normal. I got a big meeting this afternoon. So I had to like stream a little early, so I gotta be out here by like 2:30, 2:50, 2:45 or so. So usually I start at 2, but you know, what are you gonna do? Got those meetings.
Hey friends.
So should be good. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was a Kickstarter backer of the fellow kettle, which is super duper nice. Big fan. We've been using it since we got it. I mean, I love it. So super duper good. And I bought it for my sister as well. She really liked it. I think it gets more people. It's easier in to doing coffee when you can just fill a thing, press a button, done. You know what I mean? So, and now I see these fellow kettles everywhere. The normal kettles, the electric kettles, and all the fancy coffee shops. So it's kind of cool. I know, me too. I've been out of the game, out of the Kickstarter game. I used to be heavy, just kickstart everything. That was my model. Kickstart everything, go, and then needed to play it cool. Stop for a bit, save some monies. I realized I didn't really need. Ooh. There you go. It's like I don't need every single Kickstarter under the sun. So save some money. That's what I've been. That's what I've been up to. Oi. PC game. Which game? I've kickstarted so much stuff. I'm an okay developer, ma'am. Thank you though. Hey Nick, how's it going? Welcome back. Oh, venture capital game. you were. I was basically, yes, I was being VC for all game developers. Starter. I was like, anytime anything was announced early for the Switch in its lifetime on Kickstarter, I was like, I'm in, you know, do it. And it's kind of fun because then I probably wouldn't have bought those games, so pretty good. And then a lot of gadgets, and that's my problem, is like a lot of gadgets and I use them for a day and then I don't use them ever again. That was the issue. Hey Nick, welcome back to the stream. I'm also got camera. So I've been jealous of, now granted this camera is not bad in general, now that I got my cool Zamagon filter thanks to Kim Philpotts. But I have my old Sony camera, this Alpha, my first mirrorless camera, and I was really kind of jealous of a few other people with really nice cameras. So I bought myself a Cam Link thanks to the amazing subscribers of this channel. We're able to use some of the money to buy a Cam Link, which was great. Don't worry, it doesn't really impact the donations at all. We're still donating way up, I feel blessed. Tons of money to the monkeys of the world, which is awesome. Abdul, welcome to the crew. Look at those emotes fly. Put that as every single one. Maybe I need to turn out how many there are. Turn on that of thingy. I'm way up, I feel blessed. You gotta get those follows in now before I turn the overlay down. Explosions. I put 92. That's all right. There we go. Cool. Max, also thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Super awesome. Yeah. So got this puppy. I've been charging it up. I need new battery packs for it, but I did get the Cam Link, which is from Elgato, which everything in my house is from Elgato. So the Cam Link is this thing. It's like $100. It's a little expensive, but it turns your camera into HDMI for all intents and purposes. Out, captures it via USB, bingo bango, boom, you're good to go, and just does it. So it's just the HDMI feed. So I'm gonna kind of test that. I mean, I just have the Logitech 1080p camera, so I know, just married, still casual. Yeah, I forgot to remove that from the early. I was like, oh, for 2 weeks. Not still just married after 2 weeks. Maybe Hi, Pierce. How's it going?
Way up, I feel blessed.
Hey, Abdul. How's it going? Welcome to the stream. Hello to Pakistan. Hope everything's going well. KJ Miller, welcome to the stream as well. Thank you for the follow. It is Friday. Way up. I do need a Drake emote, I think. Maybe I'll just take that Drake cutout and just, which is pretty good. All right. Last week on the stream, we did a bunch of happy Friday. Ancient, hello. We did a bunch of DevOps stuff. We didn't get completely done with the Hanselman. And we are going to finish that today with the App Center stuff. Next week, we're maybe putting some push notifications into our backend. We'll kind of see how that goes, see how that pans out. Try to use the App Center API to do that. So we'll see how that works. But I want to get this into
Way up, I feel blessed.
I want to put this into into something, basically. Which is to put it into people's devices. That's what I kind of want to do. Good question. Okay. Yes, that is correct, Pierce. You know me. I was rolling down Fremont the other day. I had my car cruising in. Yeah, I'm a big Drake fan. I love the Drake. AJ said, I just did a transcription for an episode that you did on .NET Core. Oh, cool. I'm a Python dead. Oh, very cool. Awesome. Oh, over on the which podcast? Oh, on the .NET Core show. Yeah, that just came out like today. I just retweeted it. Max, yeah. Big plans for .NET Conf. Yeah, I'll be there. I'm also doing something. Let's go over here to the Surface. I run this Seattle Mobile Developers user group over in the Seattle Redmond area. We got some upcoming meetups next week. Me and Matt were hosting one on accessibility, which is super cool. And then last year, Matt and I did a viewing party plus interactions, which is cool here. And what was awesome about this is that we live stream in all day, but we also have another room set aside for we have it set aside for other lightning talks and bonus talks from the product teams and from cloud advocates and things like that. So have lunch, breakfast, all that stuff, probably some giveaways, swag, all sorts of goodness, which would be cool. So we're gonna do a bunch of stuff. I just put this up yesterday and I got 20 people up there, so excited about that. It just says, yeah, like getting early listens, even if manual transcriptions are, I could imagine that they're a headache. Yeah. Swag. Yeah, hopefully there's swag. Gotta get that swag. Yeah, I use I would like to be able to afford a professional transcriber of our podcast, but I use Temi, the auto one, which is not necessarily great for merge conflict. It's okay. I could go in there, fix it up, do stuff, but it does okay transcriptions. I'm sure if I downloaded this, that's what they look like. Like, sir, no. How to make a great gift. Not actually correct. So, but it's pretty decent in general. So we pay that out of the Patreon subscribers there, which is good. But it's hard if you're multiple people, I think, and you talk over each other, on how to do it. Oh, live translations. Well, right now we also have, if you go to the Twitches, let's see. I might end up moving my entire setup over to OBS to use this new plugin. But if you are, oh, don't forget, it is September. 50% off tier 1 subs and gifts. So what you can do is you can hit this little closed captioning here, and this is going to be live captioning of this feed in real time right there, which is cool. That's an extension though. So, but OBS has this new plugin that someone developed that can do it in the built-in closed caption of the feed, which is really cool. Good morning, Jim. How's it going? All right, so what do we have last week? Last week, the at the very, very end of everything, we ended up, let me boot up the Hanselman.Forms here. Oh, sure, yeah. Have him email me. It's Motz, M-O-T-Z, at Microsoft.com. That's where you can email me. So, let me know. Why not use cognitive services for transcribing? So, I thought about that. The difference is that I could upload this thing and then it would put it in the exact format that I needed to upload, basically. That's why. I don't know, simplicity. I could have done a whole thing if I wanted to, but then I didn't. I should probably update my license.
Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible.
Ancient Coder, thank you so much for that tier 1 sub coming in for 3 months. Super duper appreciate that. You keep this stream going. And of course, we help by donating that money over to, oh, that's not good. To the Duke Langers of the world. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Wonder if they revoked my enterprise. Ooh. All right, we'll keep going, I guess. I need to figure that out for the next stream. All right. Perfect. Okay. Well, thanks. At least they don't boot me out. That's good. So last week, what we did is we had an App Center branch in here. Ancient Coder says, had to be done. Got to get those subs. Got to get those emotes. Got to get those emotes. Emotes. I'll get hype for September. Yes, that is correct. Transcription services aren't super duper great at that. At dev stuff specifically, yeah. All right, so we had this App Center SDK, and what we did is we added all of App Center SDKs, Crash, Distribute, Analytics, things like that. And what we ended up doing is we said, as long as we're in release, then we want to use that. And we're going to create, for all intents and purposes, a little bash script over here. We validated it yesterday that this actually works. And this is what it's going to do. So what this little command does is it does a replacement in bash. And it says, look for App Center Android and replace it with App Center Android variable, which is down here. Okay. And then I also put this little App Center directory in here. I'm imagining it is the same, but I'm not sure if I could put that directly in here or not. So I just did one down here just to be sure. Oh, I must have spelled that wrong. 5, 2. Nightbot, Nightbot, what you doing? Nightbot getting all crazy. Oops, 5. Ooh. Oh, I forgot. There. I just didn't know how to do a timer. There we go. I messed it up. Messed up timers. There we go. Additionally, NP Egok, thank you for the follow as well. I missed out on that one earlier. Okay, cool. So that's what this does. So what we want to do here is we're going to copy this. And we're also going to then move this down into iOS world too. Boop. So here we're going to say bash script, and we'll say update app center variables. Okay. And then here we're going to do app center iOS, or iOS if you that way. iOS. iOS. iOS, which then references a variable for App Center iOS. Boop. And then we go to our App Center, which is going to be here. And we're going to create an iOS one. That's probably good to do. Xamarin Hanselman.Forms iOS. I like that this changes colors. Not sure why, but iOS, Xamarin, done. Grab that key out of there. It just gave me the key specifically to copy that in there. Come back over here. So if we look at this, then we have our iOS command, Android command, bumping versions, installing mono, installing 16.3, P12, installing 6.2, installing 16.0, do get restore. That's cool. Perfect. All right. Those are our build agents. You gotta have those boots. I wish they put an icon for the boots though. I gotta install everything manually. That's what I say. Always be in control of your pipeline. And all right, so what we want to do now that that is working, we're gonna come over, and we already know this works. So here's the App Center iOS, and this is kind of like a James thing that I've done. Is this sed command, the sed command, is not going to work if I have other things called App Center iOS in here. So one of those things just to kind of be aware of in the future, just if you're doing that, and that way it just kind of replaces. And again, only in release because we don't want to go into here. Let us. Yeah, we just spent a whole episode just on boots, ears, and putting it on. That was last week. That's all we did was boots, all day boots. It was very frustrating. Much frustration. All right, we can delete that branch. That's good. And now if I go back to my pipeline here, should have build kicked off because I put that in there. Awesome. Now, the reason that we needed to put that in there is because we wanted to be able to distribute that and also get updates when versions update of the app. So what we want to do, drops file. We're going to go to our releases. I think that I set this up, or I thought I failed. At our current bit here. But this failed. Not find any file based on APK. Good. Healthy.
I'm way up, I feel blessed.
Public domain, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. Let those emotes fly. All right, let's go into our pipeline. What am I actually doing here? Look at this job, collaborators, and look at the last drops that came in. What I could do is also do something like this. Kind of like when it's just going to look for that specific APK. That looks correct. There's also this mapping file I think also exists. Need that then. Maybe it found multiple APKs previously. Alright, this thing is running. Run it, run it, run it. Did I miss the VS project implementation of those variables? Where I put those variables, I don't use mobile build tools for that. What I use, pipe it up over. What I do is very, very simple. Is Jim is over here inside my project, inside my app startup, which is where you would start up the App Center stuff. Ooh, let me So what I do is this. I use this constant here, which inside of my startup code says, hey, you know, initialize iOS, Android, Windows. You only need one of these technically for the project. So what I do is I have this app center underscore Android, and then over inside my build step, I have a bash command. Oops. A bash command that replaces it. See? So it looks inside the app directory source, Hanselman, app.ymlcs, and then swaps it out. Swaps it out. That's it. This would be update center. But when you're debugging, the variables are not set. Yes, that is correct. They're not set because I switch it in a debug. I don't need anything to start when I'm in debug mode, only in release. No need. I don't need analytics or crash reporting. I also don't like to mux my telemetry data of release versus debug, so that's how I do it. One less thing to start up. So let's see if this is success yet. Should be building. Could you if debug to get them in? Thinking of beyond. If you could get them in, could you do if debug get them in? I mean, you could just paste your variables right in that file if you wanted to. If it's not open source, if your code is not open source, you could just put your variables right in there. No one's gonna care. That's how I have it in all my projects. But since it is open source, I don't want to put them directly in there. But I mean, I could just remove this and then put in the keys right here if I wanted to. If I wanted to. But yeah, you could also use whatever you're using for mobile build tools or whatever. I don't use tons of third-party things. I'm kind of set in my old ways, basically, for all intents and purposes. A line. Yeah, I stole the outline from Kim, mine. Gimme. And he did. All right, so let's let this finish then. But this should work. So let me go up. A hot one. I don't know why this is still printing out the file. To look at my finish it. This is the only advantage of actually putting the iOS and Android builds in a separate environment for all intents and purposes. Like you put it in a different pipeline for like here's iOS, here's Android, then you don't need to deploy. You don't need to wait for both of them to deploy. But for all intents and purposes, I should wait for them to deploy. One of the other one too.
You are now watching the throne.
Minutes, 8 mega minutes. Wanted iOS to 3 minutes. A lot better. I like this one's stuck. I can't get straight. Brain. All right. But let us see. Actually, I can just do a. Let's see if this really. So all this job does is it outputs it to. It looks for that file. Then outputs it to the D6 failed. Unauthorized. Okay. So this makes sense. I most likely unauthorized that account. So let me go into my job. So what I'm thinking is happening here is that I most likely here, I have this App Center connection, but I bet it's dead because I was doing videos on it. So I bet I killed it. So I need to do a new one. Here, and I need to give it an API token. So I'm going to go over into App Center, turn on my screen, and do have one. You go into your account settings, which you can't see right now. Then I go into API tokens. Here. So I'm going to create a new API token called Hanselman.Token. It's a shame that you can only give it full access. All right, then I'm going to go back over into my pipeline, post that in there. App Center Hanselman.Forms. I just added a new one there. And then if I go into my public preview, I need to update that here. And additionally, I should look at my... How do I find... How do I find... Oh, I could have just edited it. That. Okay. So let's look at our releases. All right, that one did pass finally after 9 minutes. Dang. All right, let's go ahead and do a new release. Base it off of that's today. Good. Create. Let's see if this publishes it through. And then, if everything is going well, let's see here. So that succeeded, which is rad. Which means if I go into here, I have one release. I go into distribution. There it is. Awesome. Okay. And then let's make sure we delete it from. All right, cool. So if I download. File. Whoa, did you know that Chrome now downloads files faster? That's great. Thanks, Chrome. If I ever had a coding stream on Twitch, I'd probably have to dox my API tokens. Yeah, API tokens are tricky. I gotta have that blank out screen. Learned that from the no-op. Let's install this thing. Open. Awesome. That's great to see. Awesome. Crash on startup. Beautiful. Alright, well that means that something has gone awry. Don't know what. That is awesome. That means we probably need to look into our... Crash on. Well, let's look at our properties, I guess. Fast looks good. Options looks good. All right, so when this happens, let's say you have a crash on startup. The thing to do here is a little bit tricky. So the app didn't crash on startup, and that also means we're not going to get any. We're not going to get anything in App Center, right? There's not going to be any. This probably didn't even get a chance to start in general. Just can almost guarantee that. So, which means we're going to do a few things. So we are going to look at our settings. looks correct. All right, we're just going to now build this application in release mode. Okay. And what that's going to allow us to do is debug why it is crashing on. So we're going to put it out to the device. Because we know it works normally. Now we are using the D8R8 code shrinker here. I would say the other issue that I see is that we're enabling developer instrumentation, and that's odd. Like that should not be checked in release mode. So I feel like that is a problem in general, that we're telling it to debug and that's on. So that's probably not correct right there if I was to look at that. That's strange. So that's not good. But we'll still let it build. We'll let it build and deploy. Why not? My assumption here is that perhaps the D8 compiler, DR8 code shrinker may be causing it. But it doesn't make too much sense. If I flip to debug, those are still on, right? So the only difference is this stuff down here, linker, and this is wrong. Let it build. Oh yeah, the only difference is that it is at this point in debug doing linking, so that could be the issue. Something is being stripped out that is required. That also would also easy to. But there's definitely a few problems that we see already, is that debugging should not be on, and then hey worship. I mean, I've been using Xamarin for 8 years now, and always loved it. Depends what you were building. Were you using like the earlier versions of Hanselman.Forms? Because that's not really the core Xamarin, you know, core Xamarin iOS and Android building. Like those are been super duper mature for a long time. And Hanselman.Forms, if that's what you're using for the cross-platform UI, and that was definitely early in 2015. It just came out in 2015, I think. So you might have just got it in V1, which was pretty early. But the actual toolkit itself is very mature in that regards. Let me make sure that I'm just going to match the setting. Configuration manager. Let's deploy that. I think this is actually going to do this. Let us. Oh, yeah, I don't have the NDK installed for the AOT or that sort. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to, this is how I would debug it. First, this should not be checked. I don't know how that got checked, but that should not be checked. This enable thing here. And let's save that. And then what I can do is I'm going to go into debug again. Which is kind of what we actually want to do. And the only thing that's super duper different here would be to Use the concurrent garbage collector, which didn't have a problem. Yeah, so I mean, if that was what you were on 2015, I mean, Xamarin.Forms was very, very early compared to the core platform, which has been around for over a decade.
I'm way up, I feel blessed.
Explosive Soda, thank you for the follow. I super duper appreciate that. But yeah, you can take a look at we have a customer's landing, pretty good to flip through. Yeah, I mean, I do think that Xamarin.Forms, when it was very, very first created, like, could definitely tackle some scenarios, right? It didn't necessarily get to do like every scenario under the sun, which I think disappointed a lot of people. But yeah, dude, like the tool set of Xamarin.Forms is like absolutely just like come so long, and there's like new ways of architecting the app to really make it butter. So if you came in, it'd be like a brand new thing, especially with Shell, which is our new way of like describing the app bundle, or the entire app structure. I mean, like, this is how you architect your app. Like, you have an app tab bar, some tabs, and some pages inside of it, and then that's kind of it. Like, this repo is a pretty good one to actually take a look at, because I've been adding a lot of the new features, and this app started in 2014 or 2015. I've been evolving it, and at the beginning of the year we made a big push, as I wanted to make this like a really great kind of fundamental app, just spending a few hours a week on it and keeping up to date with stuff. So Explosive, good to see ya. Welcome to the stream. Glad you got to caught it. Also glad to meet you at VS Live. I'm super excited. I'm going back to VS Live. I have Chicago, I have San Diego, and Orlando. So many's. All right, so what I've done is I've turned on SDK linking here, and this is something you don't really want to do in debug unless you're debugging a crash. So that would kind of be the key of what you want to do, is make sure that that's the reason why you're doing it. My assumption is maybe there's a third-party dependency which is being linked out and required at startup. That could be the only thing. Yeah, we have a bunch of cool commands. So if you do all the commands, such as like the what command, good to interesting. That works. Need to grab my my phone. It is commands on my Stream Deck aren't working. My cool. All right, did this deploy yet? What's going on? Wow. The only thing I can think of, oh, there we go. So fit linear layout. Something has happened here. Is good. Cool. So let's debug this. you get the native stack trace here. Big. I believe that this is a ProGuard issue. That's what it seems odd. Back over. Or Android. Data G. Xpad. So this is definitely something up with Anchor. Set this back to none. Yeah. That just worked. Assumption. Fit window layout. Native. With the linker, obviously, which is linking out something. First, here it is, looking all good, working. Good. Okay. So, definitely a tricky one. One. So what do we need to do? We need to figure out crash. Google. I really want to do that though. That seems odd. I think it's a guard. So let's look at one of these in my try this. I think it's actually not using ProGuard, it's using R8, but I wonder if it follows the R. Add. John Douglas up in here. Add. ProGuard file. But it's kind of weird because I would think that regardless that it wouldn't R8 D8 stuff is on, like the linker is removing it. My assumption is that the linker is person said input something. Linker back on. I can think of the other thing I can think of is doing what they said, which try to add the that one too. Hit Windows. Let's get ripped away. Build. All these things seem valid. Yeah, all these are good work. But also linker, please include. Strip by the linker so you can hit by setting a false. And the static is LinkedIn. Yeah, my assumption here is that the linker combined with the code shrinker and the D8 all together, like the code shrinker is removing stuff that it doesn't think it's using. We need to keep it to tell it. So, well, it keeps it, but then the linker is removing it because the shrinker is removing it. Of interest. that is of interest. I only want to keep all of these. They're going to change. I wonder if there's a ProGuard app there. Try this out. Why? Why? They don't have any. Exited. ProGuard, expected character. Oh, ProGuard set. I'm just reading documentation. I'm looking at the app. Port for App Center and Azure mobile app. Yeah, when I created that text file, it creates it in a weird format where it's extra things on the front of it, basically. This should work, I think. I think it like adds some extra characters, so you can open it in the. You right click and you go with open with. You can do the hex editor or binary editor, and then that'll show you if there's little bits up here, and there's like extra bits in the file. That might be it. That's correct. All right, there we go. Let's see. Linking, jarring, bugging. For center. Of this. And app bar layout scrolling behavior couldn't be found. Good. We're getting closer. Android support design widget. So we're closer, which means that probably this doesn't have the keep classes for that. So keep class Android support design ... design ... That's a notice. Notice. Forms. Hey Mortal, how's it going? You're just filling in some stuff here, doing a little bug report. issue bad if that's not there. We are figuring out linker stuff right now. We're figuring out how to make sure that all of our design widgets get put in there. My assumption is that that stuff should be in there. To ask John Dick, if there's a reason why. So what we're figuring out is for some reason, some of the things are getting removed. And I think it's a combination of the Android linker and the Xamarin linker combined. So we're debugging it by just flipping on this linking assemblies here. Because this seems to work okay, the code shrinker. But my assumption here is that like the combination of the two is messing with. So it's unfortunate because the linking and the compiling and the dexing and everything takes a little bit of time. It's a bit time consuming, which is a bit tedious. Thanks for tuning in. Venturing into deep dexing in here. I think I can give this to the peppers too. How are you doing, Mortal? Everything going well? Okay, I would like for this to work because we got the whole DevOps cycle set up and now we gotta debug link and stuff. Please work. Oh geez, Android support internal. We're getting closer. So here, a little tired, a little bit tired. Yeah, I was so tired last night. All right, so yeah, there's design internal, design widget. I wonder if I could just do this. I wonder if I can just do this. And like, what if I get rid of that? Get rid of the work. Because then it's like, just include all that stuff. But it's still gonna get linked to some extent. But we'll see. Which kind of makes sense. If I was to look at like the dependency graph, we have the design stuff over here. And it must be some weird combination of, maybe this is fixed in a new version, perhaps. You'd ask John Dick about that. Yeah, last night it was like 10 o'clock out. I was just out on the couch, just gone. And then we went to bed and it's like destroyed, obliterated. But hopefully next week on the stream I'll have my new camera set up to do stuff, which would be cool. I'm charging the battery now. I don't know how it works. I don't think I can charge it like fully though. I think I need to figure out how long it will last off battery. It won't charge. Cam link, got it all set up, so we'll see if that works. So yeah, Android, don't warn for those, don't warn for this. Probably all this stuff that I don't actually need to worry about, but probably do. I don't think I need this base thing at all. This is why I usually don't use any. So I normally, by the way, don't use any Dex compiler or Dex shrinker. Like I usually don't use any. Now we're kind of forced to. Code shrinkers I usually don't use any, but the media manager one like requires this. The Dex compiler is fine, but it's this code shrinker that's causing the issues, and it's this combination happening. This is the Oh, you know what? I'm curious if... I'm curious if he has some info on, like... This is optional. Disable multi-dex when you... It's probably just an R8 thing. After this builds, and we'll put some of these up. So it should be like new required for R8. Then we'll put... I don't think we need this here. Hey-oh, there we go. So now that said, I'm curious if I should really do all of it. Like in here, should this be widget? Right. And then this should probably also be dot kernel. Now, I also probably, the question would be, do I need that? I think just that. We'll see if that works. And let's give it a go here. Right, that's good. So linker problems done. Exciting. Try to generate an archive of my app to fail. Link assemblies task. Did you do it from the IDE? Is that what you were doing? I had an issue the other day where wouldn't work. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I think like you right-clicked and archived, right? Yeah, I had some other issue where it wouldn't work for me, and I didn't know if it was a Hanselman.Forms thing. So I got this. Is this what you got? Yep. Let's try it again, too. So I'm going to do a few things here. One, this will be kind of nice. I can keep this on here. I'm going to see if this works. And let's actually do that. Let's see if this will work. So let's go ahead and flip this back. We're going to put this to none. We know our stuff works. Then also in release, we noticed that I had the debugger on. That was bad. But now the settings are the same. What we should do here is come in. I think there was a service release of Hanselman.Forms. Hanselman.Forms release. Got to, yeah. No update. No update? There's no service release? No. So I didn't update this to Hanselman.Forms 4.2. I have it in a branch, but there's a bug in shell for the flyout navigation. Like the flyout burger is. Should update. Update. So for right now, we decided to stay on 4.1 of Hanselman.Forms. Only because I'm using the shell. but I could have maybe. I think I was maybe on. Four dot two. I need to. Yeah, right now we're on 4.1. No. Read this. All the new pancake. It's a humanizer. I do love a good update nougat. Update Nougat Friday.
My name is Scott Hanselman. You can find me on the internet.
I do need a James one. Hi, my name is James. You can find me on the internet. What other update? The question is, Mortal, if you roll back to 4.1, did it did still work on 4.1? We can test it technically too. I think that I was on a 4.2 update branch, and maybe that's why it did. Yeah, give it a try and let me know. Else, probably need to report it as a issue, because it worked recently for me. I just did it, so that I know for sure. When in doubt, add a ProGuard file. Though we shouldn't. Xamarin.Forms should have a ProGuard file that it adds to. All right, so humanizer. Doubt, update all the nougats. Look at all those nougats. So many new. Okay. I also spelled ProGuard wrong, so before we check it in, we are going to rename this ProGuard file because nobody was here and corrected me. So let us save this. Rename our ProGuard file to be spelled correct, or else that's embarrassing for me. ProGuard. A good one. All right, let us save it. Let's rebuild. Let's take this one that, so now we're going to build it in release, so we'll know if it's gravy. And we'll be good to go. The other thing I wanted to do too was put the pipeline into a YAML file. The whole thing, the whole shebang. But I think would be fun if I went into code and new file. Call it. what is this thing called? Azure pipelines.yaml. File save as. Put that into our hands. And then we're gonna grab the good one to just grab. So I don't need any of this stuff here. It'd be nice if this would collapse. Oh. Cool. So, don't need any of this stuff. We're gonna leave some stuff there. Repositories. Doesn't seem. That does. You have to see like a really great YAML. I mean, this is a great YAML file. I don't think I need this. We have jobs.
I'm way up, I feel bliss.
Paveli, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that. I guess here, this is gonna, so there's a pool, a task, there's jobs. So if I looked at my, this is a job. Here, what is the pipeline? Can I not view, I say I want to really view the pipeline for the whole shebang. DevOps, YAML, pipeline, example. YAML. Pipeline stage. Mention. Much. This job has a put this in here. Do here is that. Set up already. Paste that in here. Steps, but steps aren't indented correct. Steps, ask. Bash is not even a thingy. And I feel like this whole thing is a joke, right? Oh. Could be a job. Here's the pool. Could be build Android app. Right. Build. And is that. Right? Like I think. Any delay in the stream? I don't think so. What are you seeing in the what are you seeing in the delay in the stream? Oh, did I push this? Let's see if this actually builds and deploys. I'm just kind of I want to use this. I want there to be like a one-click YAML. 1 second. What are you seeing delay wise? Audio or video? Oh, 1 second. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean it's near real time. Could be a little bit of lag. Not too bad. I see what you're saying. Oh boy. I think this is what I want. So steps. Like this should drop down the whole thing, which is correct. These are steps inside of it. Ask, bash. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm indifferent on whether I should do it all in here or not. But it would be nice. Is it possible? Oh. I should install the NDK, I guess. The new version. They use the preview version. This actually doesn't require the NDK. Funnily enough. Yes. So what we did is when you tap, well, see, here's the thing. If you tap here on any of these, this will show the it's called Azure Functions. Go to, that's what you're looking for. We use them in this app. Literally, they're right here. Azure Functions. They're way better. And if you're using HTTP triggers, they will always be cheaper than Lambda because you don't need an HTTP gateway. So these are all the functions. You can take a look right in Hanselman.Forms for it. It's all there. Just go there. Boom. Azure Functions. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, so well, so that's the thing is I don't think that if I go to the build pipeline, I don't think I can import, I can export. Can't like do stuff on the whole pipeline. Can't be like, hey, I could import. That's a JSON file. That's not it. So you can't edit the pipeline. I can't necessarily Yeah, so you gotta, so unless I'm missing it. No. No. Yeah, so I think what it is, you have to sort of copy them out, which is totally fine because here, right, I could do view XAML or YAML, copy, boom. If I go here, this is the one from Central. The problem is the indentation is like not correct. I think. I'm not actually sure. Because here, I think that all these tasks should be indented under the steps. And then we don't need this. And here we do need this. Here's another job to be build iOS. And then the display name is actually going to be Android agent job, iOS agent job. Bad name for it, but so then you can use this. No, it's not bad. You just need to know how to put it in the correct format, I guess. But of course, this could all be wrong. And this needs to move. So if I look at this job, steps, I think that this should all move over under job. Well, what we also have, where I'm following this from, is via this one. So we can see, so job, display name, pool, steps, and then indented would be PowerShell, task, any of the things. That's correct. That should be correct. And then if you really want to get nice with it, you could definitely put some other variables, and like this provisioning profile and other things like that could probably be up in here as variables, because well, all we have right now is like build configuration, which is here, which isn't like super duper helpful, but it's here. Should be correct. And then you start to share more things, I guess. All right. Oh, did I? Oh, now I have. Do I have it? Still installing and NDK. All right, we're just gonna go with the fact that it probably is done and working again. So let us add everything. Page. Update NuGets. Update NuGets and add ProGuard file. Boom. Only one way to find out, yeah, is to create a branch that we call YAML. And my goal, at least, is to help people that, you know, are building an app and they can look. It's hard. You can't browse. That's the thing is with YAML, you can browse it. Like I could browse and see exactly what we're doing here. It's not super It's not super great, but at the same time, what's nice about it is that you can browse it. That's what's nice about it. So only thing that's super nice about it. And that it works in branches, so branches can have their own YAML that overrides stuff. So if we really wanted to look at this YAML file, we could easily point out that it could be like, you could do .NET Core version, right? And you could say 2.2.x. And here you should be able to do .NET Core version, I assume. All right, and then bash command can go down. This can be good. On version number. So things like, you could be like Android manifest location to be, I assume, let's look at, it's a string. If you define those variables, will they show up as things you need to provide for the pipeline editor? Well, no. So here's what happens is when you export, so these are local to this YAML file, right? So this, when it exported, it gave me some, but if I go here and I say view YAML, it will tell me right here, it'll give me some. So it says, hey, this thing is not private, so it's fine. But here's all of the ones that you're going to need to define in your pipeline. Yes. D. Yeah, and then my assumption is that what I need to do is I would need to create a new, like, then I would need a point, and then I'm going to need to create those variables in the code behind because they're private things, and then bring them back and forth. So then I would have like two local ones. Again, I'm not really sure if I'm even going to be using it. And then the question is, yeah, like, yeah, I don't know. Like these will be ones here, so it's like, I don't know if I thought it did for now. But in an ideal world, I would put these URLs at the top, so that way it would just kind of trickle down easily. Correct though. So let us add file for testing. Push that up. So we delete this. Clone testing. Yeah, same thing here. Like this has a, if I wanted to, I could then easily, I guess, build. This YAML is very short. It's very simple. Done. So. Create a new one. Git hub. Hanselman.Forms. Existing Azure pipeline file from Camel. Path, found it. Continue. This is it. But I guess did it just right? Valid YAML structure. But you gave me a Alright, let's try that again. So it wants to because I made changes. So I just did run, so I don't want to make changes, just run it. Ah, okay. Okay, so it's definitely not correct. That's good. Ah, troubleshoot build. That's great. Cool. Line 28, column 9. That's good. Must be whatever that. A name. Bet that this. I just edit it. Oh, and oh gosh. Okay. What was cool? See, this is actually what's kind of nice about by the way, is that they now have it here where if I tap on this, I think it will. At least shows me here, but I thought there was a way to show assistant. I thought there was a way to actually see the thing. It's weird this doesn't say like invalid. Invalid YAML. That's weird because this one's not complete. Is that invalid? I'm missing the end at the. Oh. No, it works okay here. This is the bash file. I don't know why that's. that one's fine, and then this one. But that also wasn't the problem when it ran it. When it ran it, said, while scanning a simple key, could not find expected semicolon. Line 28. Which is this line. I'm curious if like this doesn't work, this inline bash command. Bash. I don't think VS Code was saying anything. My assumption is that the bash script is guess maybe it doesn't do it correct in export then. I looked at the well, this is successful, so that's good. Yeah, if I went into to here, what it gives me. Let's try to release this puppy then, at least, at a minimum. Double quote at the end in the YAML you just feed. In where? In this? End of the bash instruction. Yeah, link it to me. I can't find it. I cannot find it. Let's do a new release. And let us see if and you clicked on view YAML. Oh, over here when I clicked on view YAML. No, this is just like, it's just small, right? So like if you looked at it's exactly the same. Oh, you know what it is? This is indented. I see. That's what it is. It's indented. Interesting. Hey Kim, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. We are debugging the YAML shenanigans because copy and paste does not seem to work well. Yes, everyone has figured it out. It's not. If you look at the YAML indentation, what we'll notice is that yes, this needs to be indented, the bash command itself. There it is. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. It is the indentation. Doesn't make any sense. Terrible. Terrible. Perfect. Now we're at line 153. Where's that at? Line 1? This is also going to be the same. Contents, these things, save. I mean, this is nice that it does tell you, let you edit it right here, which I think is pretty cool. And then I guess the other favorite part is that, I need to set up these other variables in file. So that's the other thing I need to do is I need to set up some other things inside of here, which would be all the private variable. I should put them in a shared private variables group. So if you actually go into here, oh, that's cool. Where did that come from? You go to branches. Oh, that is nifty. Look at that. Analytics. Whoa, hey-oh. Oh, that's cool. All right. So what you can do though is you could do variables. You could create a variable group here. And that is probably what you actually want to do. Then you could share it between multiple things. It'd be cool if I could just move this to a right-click move. There's not too much in here. There's some passwords and key store aliases in here. But yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Okay, we're using. So we're getting closer. At least we have the YAML there. And it's like key store stuff. So that's good. We'll try to do that maybe now. All right, what do? We got our mobile phone. We have Forms, Android. See that this is the latest? Yes. Wait. How come that would be above it? Seems strange. Yeah, I like that this has the little drop downs. We should probably sync down the install anyways. And the other thing we want to do is we also want to look at our pipeline summary. So that one was build this one. Let's run pipeline again. Good work. Yeah. Yeah. Aha, and distribution works. Yeah. Cool. All right, so we got the blogs. Ba-da-da-bum-bum-ba-dum. Tweets. Got the podcasts. videos. Need to get better images for those. Need to definitely figure that out. Same thing. These. Squished Hanselman. Cool. So now, the last thing to check would be if this thing runs, push it again, go. So while we're doing that, let's go to our pipeline. And what we want to do is do edit. And we want to turn this into enable. And then if everything is going to plan. Thanks. Yeah, the app is looking good. The app is looking good. I'm also gonna combine these two tabs. So right now we have podcasts and videos. We're gonna do a collection view that says like podcasts that scrolls left and right, and videos, because you only need two. I'm just gonna put it in one nice little tabby tab here, and then do swipies left and right on it. I think that'll be much nicer as you go. Then I'll have like a setting, something up here that does a little modal, give some information. I like that. I think media would be good. Just a little media. And then that kind of expands it. So if we had more tabs on like a speaking or like, and I think what we can do is then I think Hanselman. So let's go into our thing here. What we're going to do is figure out what's in the process. We want to combine media into single tab, and we should also put include books, and it's a little bit hard. He doesn't really keep that up to date, the speaking stuff, nor do I. We'll do that. Speak. There's just a little out of date. Include books as well. Will be combine podcasts and video into a single tab with collection view running it. Running it, and then we should also create a backend function that will serve the data. It's optional. Well, oop. Good. This one we're going to use Project Catalyst when it's done. Checkbox done. Use span and bio. Make it app accessible. We want to translate the app. Got or not. Good. Thing. What we want to see before we release it into the wild would be to do, if we go to App Center here, what we want to do is where is the source code? Oh, I have this source code in like 4 places. Beneficial. Code. Oh, I'm on the wrong. Back to my. Download Android, and we'll come here and we'll say a Hanselman.Forms book. Good. Our code. Ancient coder book from the ancient codex. Like that. All right, so now this is complete. What we should see in our releases, the new one that went out to dev. So if I reboot this puppy. Boom! There we go. Nice. New version available. I can download it. It's going to download in the background. It's going to want me to install it. Beautiful. Add download for Android. Cool. So then what we can do here is now we can come into my release, and then we need to do one more thing, which is going kind of annoying. But let's go to this one. I need to set this up to allow multi-deploy. Edit the pipeline. What we need to do is on this, we need to allow limited. So that way they can all kind of queue up, basically. Could also have it auto cancel, but see if this is here. Boop. All right. Bam. Good to go. Today we finished our bash scripts for iOS and Android. We figured out why things weren't deploying. We fixed some crashes with the ProGuard file not being in place and the R8 shrinker being in place, which is kind of a bummer. We figured that out together as a team. We did it as a team together. Ancient Coder also got his September on with half off subs, supporting those monos, which is super important out there, and supporting the stream, obviously. Super awesome. We finished our distribution of Distribution Center inside of App Center. Got our updates working, which is super awesome. Our podcasts are looking good. We opened some new things. We asked App Center what's going on with some of the stuff there. We updated some NuGet packages, so everything is gravy train. Yeah, everything's looking super duper good. We're gonna clean this thing up in the future too, which I'm very excited about. Yeah, so much good stuff happening. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I know that there's a lot of building going on. Next week I want to get back to some UI work, get this a little bit cleaned up, which I'm super excited for. But now you can actually download it and give it a try on your device. And then we're also going to do iOS at some point. I'm not too worried about iOS just because I don't have an enterprise account, so you can't do it anyways. Yeah, lots of progress. We also stole Kim's overlay, Xamagon, so that's very exciting. And I also have it here, which is pretty rad. We also bought a cam link so I can put up my Alpha Nex 6 Sony device, which should be cool. Very excited for that. We'll see if that works or not. This thing flips all the way. Doesn't really flip all the way over, so that's kind of a bummer, but we'll flip it around and be able to see stuff, which I'm excited about. I don't know if it'll be an end all or if I'll just go back to this camera. This camera's also not that bad, so I don't know. That's it. I'm feeling good. Opened up some more issues, some more tickets. One day, Tim will make everything prettier and a lot better. But until that day, we're ghost. Thanks, everyone. Let's see if we got anyone on the belly hanging out. We also installed an NDK. That's good. Cam does look fine. Yeah, it looks pretty good. I don't know. You're welcome. Anytime, man. And we'll shove people over to Clancy and I have been coding for the same amount of time. Clancy's still coding? Let's see. Clancy, you know, I guess he probably tried to like go in the morning. Oh, he's offline. Oh, is he? No, he's online. Let's raid Penny. I think that's like a good way to end a Friday. Like ending and raiding Penny. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I love you so much.